The climate has changed before, so why is it different now?
It's a good question. Right. Exactly right. The climate has changed before. It's changed a lot. So the reason why the climate's changed in the past, we kind of have ideas about why that's happened. So I know we're on Earth, and we don't really realize it because we're standing on Earth, but when Earth rotates around the sun, it doesn't exactly rotate the same way over long periods of time. They're called the Milankovitch cycles. You do not have to remember. There'll be no test on that. Maybe, I don't know, the teacher's in the back, maybe there's a test on that. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But basically what happens is you have the way that the Earth revolves around the sun can be either more oval-like or more circle-like. And it changes like it's being squished. And depending on where you are in that cycle means you get a different amount of energy from the sun that actually reaches Earth. And that's just one way you can change the climate from the kind of outside-in sort of action. Another way is actually the Earth doesn't revolve around the sun like a straight line like this. It actually revolves around it at a tilt. And the tilt actually changes a little bit. So the tilt, because the way the tilt changes, that also impacts the amount of energy a certain place on Earth gets from the sun at any given time. Another reason, there's three of these, is that tilt does not always stay in the same direction. It tilts this way or it tilts this way. So depending on where you are in that cycle, that also means you get a change in the amount of energy you get from the sun. So these are all different ways to kind of have just the weirdness of Earth. You can change the amount of energy you get from the sun. And of course, the sun isn't static. The amount of energy you get from the sun can also change over long time scales. So what normally happens in the past is you kind of get these changes or crazy things that happen on Earth. Let's say there's just a ton of volcanoes spewing a ton of different chemicals up into the atmosphere, which can create all sorts of crazy climate things. When you have these outside forces, it kind of kicks off these feedbacks in the atmosphere, in the climate. So what you can have is the planet being a weird thing, moving from oval to a circle, can lead to an impact where, let's say, there's more plants or more things die and it releases CO2 into the atmosphere naturally, and then we can have CO2 impacts that way. So that'd be a way where you can have the way the Earth moves kind of changes the way the carbon cycle of the globe works, and then we can get warming because of the carbon feedback. What's different now is that it's happening really, really fast. This change is happening really fast. These cycles I'm talking about, hundreds of thousands of years to tens of thousands of years long. And we're doing this really, really short amount of time since the Industrial Revolution, which is roughly 150 years ago. Don't check my math on that because I don't exactly know time. Anyway, hundreds of centuries. And the difference now is that we kind of did a shortcut. So we said, you know what, we're not going to rely on the Earth and the sun and all that stuff to do it by itself. We're just going to cut middleman out and just go right to releasing the carbon dioxide and the greenhouse gases, which we know warm the atmosphere. If we didn't have any greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, you all would hate living on the planet. It would be freezing. It would be the worst. It'd be very, very, very cold. A lot of the reasons why we exist as a species, and life exists, is because we have this kind of blanket of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. And now we're tweaking that. We're adding a lot more of it. The most, I think, currently we're over 400 parts. So I think we're, it's the highest it's been in hundreds of thousands of years, likely. So basically prior to malls or cell phones or basically humanity being like we are today. So you're right. You're exactly right. And this is what a lot of climate scientists study, to be honest with you. They study how Earth has changed in the past. And it's from that knowledge of how things changed in the past, and then we can apply what we're seeing now to that, and kind of realizing that this is a little bit different compared to what we've seen in the past. Good question.